Hello, everybody. Good evening, and welcome once again to the Footy Visionaries podcast. We've had a bit of a hiatus, but we're back, and hopefully, we're going to have more regular episodes. And I'm just going to start by introducing the crew again. And today, spotting the clarinet, he's bold, he's not happy, he's rich. How do you do, mate?
To getting sinking my teeth into some of the action and again, as usual, fume about my own team and a few other things. Yeah.
Fair play. And we've got another fan who's not happy, just like I am today. Our team has been absolutely horrendous, but you know what? We're not gonna give too much thought to it at the moment. We're gonna just go in. Kush, how are you feeling at the moment, mate?
Depressed. Just depressed. Like I went away this weekend hoping to watch some good football. Went to a pub and at half time I was saying to my friends, "Can we just go?" I just wanted to go.
Yeah, to be fair, I won't even lie, that's how I was feeling as well. So, I mean, there's nowhere else to start. We're gonna start with the Manchester Derby. For those who don't know, I'm also a Manchester United fan. We just don't feel proud enough to wear the shirt today, me and Kush. But yeah, we're gonna start with the Manchester Derby. 3-0, two goals by Haaland, one goal by Foden. And I'm gonna start with this one, guys. I think usually I do not like to place blame on managers and all that, especially when it comes to Man United. Because sometimes you can see what the players are doing, whatever. In this game, though, I would say part of the blame lies on the manager, especially for starting Bruno in that midfield. Bruno, for me, is not a midfielder. He should never be a midfielder. He loses Foden. Foden scores. And every time they were like pouncing on Bruno in that midfield, and it was leading to chances and chances again. The second thing is Bindia should not be starting. You bought a new keeper, just start him. Just baptism of fire. I know, but they started a new goalkeeper, Donnarumma, man of the match. We could have started our new goalkeeper. Who knows what would have happened? But especially the second goal for Haaland, when the ball goes through, I'm expecting, okay, here we go. Catch him. Just catch him actually and see what he's gonna do. Doesn't come out, and he's like half a yard or 1 yard, like 1 second too late. It's a goal. What do you think, Kush? I think Amorim got this one a bit wrong.
I think he did get it wrong, but in terms of if you with Bruno, he's not going to play him in the 10 because Amram doesn't want to play him in the 10. But if you have someone like Bruno who's not defensively disciplined in that sense where he will leave a gap there. You need someone that can run the line. And we had Ugarte there, who I believe can't run a line. He was making a few good interceptions, but in terms of that defensive capability, they were slicing through us all the time. In terms of the goalkeeping, I agree. Why are we not starting our new goalkeeper? We brought him in to be our number one for the future. And I think the first goal could have been easily saved. It was just such a silly goal to concede. And defensively, in general, that match, we were so terrible. It was so terrible. And then the decisions to bring on Harry Maguire on later on in the game, instead of trying to take it to them when we have options on our bench, is just astounding. And like, how are you not playing Kobe Manu after that? It's just ridiculous because when he came on, he completed his part. I think he did 17 passes, completed 17. Take-ons, he was 100% perfect on that. I might be wrong, but in terms of that game, there was so many mistakes managerially that came that he would definitely need to pick up on. And there's now reports saying that the players aren't trusting in the system, and now he has 3 games to save his job. I was speaking to my dad about this earlier in regards to do you give time to the manager? I think in terms of Man United in general, everyone is still got a bit of that Sir Alex Ferguson feeling of back then that oh we were so successful. We're not that team anymore. I really want to put that out there that we are not that team anymore. We have gone maybe 10 years without, maybe 10 plus years without challenging for a Premier League. We haven't been there for the longest. And sacking a manager, yeah, that's good and all, but how are you going to sack a manager and try to implement a long-term project without having a longevity plan in place, if you get what I mean? So in terms of sacking Amorim, he's got a lot of improvements to do, but he's trying to do it with all the wrong pieces, if you get what I mean. So he's only bought in the summer. He bought in Cunha, he bought in Mbermo, he bought in Sesko. He's trying to fix the attack first, and now he's bringing Lamins. But we've still got so many other pieces from other managers that are still there that you can't just say that it has to be. He has to start doing better. But it's not the case, if you get what I mean. He needs more time. It took Arteta hasn't even won anything in 6 years. And he's still got the backing of his fans. He's still got the backing of the board because there's improvement. You can see there's slight improvements in certain areas, but of course we're the biggest club in England, so you have to get that success, if you get what I mean.
But Rich, do you think it was Man City played well or United played poorly in the game?
I believe I said it when Man City played the Wolves game, and when I said Wolves made Man City look better, I think made Man City look better because your defensive line was more of a straight line, like vertically rather than horizontally. Some of the marking was shocking, and just leaving one-on-one with Haaland, you're just asking for trouble, in my opinion. I just think that there just seems to be lacking a bit of leadership as well. No one seems to want to take control of the situation. Not starting Maguire. I think you have to in that. Okay, he gets a lot of stick. No, I just think he can just lead that line. He can just, all right, slow the game down. Let's have a little think about what we're doing here and adapt. Always think he's very good at adapting. On your talk about the keeper, I think he made the right decision not playing the keeper.
Really?
Yeah, my reasoning for this is he's a young keeper. He's what, 22, 23? I believe he is. He's coming from a league where he's played in front of 15,000 people, maybe 20,000 people in a league where it's not the most popular and the fan base aren't like ours. He's come to Man U and there's so much pressure when it comes to Manchester United as a player. You literally sink or swim, and a lot of players have been sinking. And to chuck him in the deep end against Man City, which is a derby in itself, away, I just think the atmosphere would be too electric and you're setting him up to fail.
But aren't we doing the same thing to Bandia though? Because Bandia was always a deputy keeper. Onana has been sold now. Bandia has come into the forefront as, okay, he's a primary keeper now. But you can see Bandia is not, he's not a possessive goalkeeper. He's not going to come out there and say, this was my ball, whatever. Number two, he's late to react to balls actually going through and all that. So what's the, what's the harm in just putting in Lamins there? You don't know what he's going to do. He has a baptism of fire. It's Man City. We end up losing 3-0 anyway with Bandia, right? And then for the Chelsea game, he kind of knows what to expect. He kind of knows what's going on because that Chelsea and Man City back to back. You're going to learn from one of them. If you're going to learn from Man City, then you learn from Chelsea, Otherwise, if I'm the defense, I'm going to play Chelsea next. After I've played Man City, I've got Bandia and goal. I've got no confidence in my keeper. I was actually seeing a clip of Donnarumma with the Man City players. He made that Bremo save, and all of them went to him. Like, yeah, they were hyping up, and you could tell that they're that confidence in Donnarumma. They're the real keeper in there. You know what I mean? The defense was not shaky. The defense knew that we have cover in the back. It's different to Man United's defense where they know if they make one mistake, it potentially gates. I don't know what you think, Khush, but
I don't agree with you there in that sense where Bayindir is the deputy keeper. Bayindir is a seasoned Turkish international. He's played on the biggest stages. He's gone to Euros. He's gone to World Cup, and he's been the starter for them. But to say that he's been deputy to Onana. Onana himself is a number one goalkeeper for his international team, playing in big games. He's played in big games in all his career. So I agree in that sense with Rich, where you can't put a 23-year-old in a big match like that, and you're comparing him to Donnarumma. Donnarumma who's probably the best goalkeeper in the world right now, who's known to be steady in the back, who's known to be that extra defender. Of course, he might not be good with his feet, but Donnarumma is Donnarumma. He's won a Champions League. He's a winner. So to compare Lamins to Donnarumma is like comparing a Louis Vuitton shoe to a Plimsoll.
I'm not comparing them, but what I'm saying is you have a new keeper. You've played Bayindir in the 4 games in the Premier League. He cost us the earlier game. I forgot which game it was. In the game because he was not able to actually come out and claim the ball and all that. He's been shaky. He doesn't have the confidence. Even though Onana is gone now, you would think, okay, another goalkeeper. Regardless, let's not put in a room about it. Another goalkeeper will say, you know what, the main rival is gone. Onana is gone. All right. There's another new goalkeeper who signed in. We don't know what he's capable of yet. That means I'm the main goalkeeper. That means I get to take charge of this defense. But I don't feel that. So why not just throw in the new goalkeeper you just signed in as well? Because you've seen Bayendier for the last. That's my thing is the last 4 game weeks, right? You've seen Bayendier because Onana has not played for all of them. You know what he's capable of, and then you trust him in the Manchester derby. I'm just like, you know what? Just throw caution to the wind a little bit on that end because I just don't have the confidence it's going to save anything at the moment.
Do you believe that? Do you believe Amarim's got 3 games left?
No, I don't actually. But here's one thing I will say about Amarim with the system. I don't think it's a system problem because all the previous managers who have been sacked either played the 4-2-3-1 or the 4-3-3, and we still failed. So it's not necessarily a system problem per se. I think with Amarim, he should stick with his formation, 100%. Stick with the philosophy, think with the formation, because in terms of like possession, actually, we've upped our possession since Amarim came. So we actually have a bit more of the ball. We don't use it well, but we do. We create a bit more of the chances. The only one thing I see which is wrong with what Amarim is doing at the moment is playing Bruno and Casemiro to some point. We should not be playing those two. Because, for example, like Ugarte played, right? Ugarte was doing the job of 2 men again. Because if you look at Bruno's heat map for the whole game, it's more forward than it should be in that role. And then that leaves Ugarte to cover all that thing by himself. He is going to get run out, going to get tired. Imagine if it was Casemiro, I think it would have been scored, would have been worse because Casemiro cannot cover that distance physically and all that. So play Ugarte Mainu. Mainu knows how to get the ball, dribble, get out of tight spaces, and use that ball. And he can also track a runner. The first goal happens because Bruno loses track of Foden. He does. So I just, it's the personnel he needs. Like, Bruno should be playing in one of those 2-10 slots.
So who would you drop, Cunha and Bama?
Right now, Cunha is injured, so that'd have been easy. Just put Bruno on the left because Bruno loves the left anyway. Put Bruno on the right. I was going to come
in a fit squad. Who do you drop, Bruno and Bama?
That's a difficult one. I don't even know because I think Mbeumo is that explosive player for us. Like if you notice in the last few games, Mbeumo has been the one who's actually been the most explosive one in terms of chance creation, and Cunha has been the one who's been able to retain the ball so that the chances can be created. If it makes sense.
Because in this system we need a striker. We can't put a false 9 because it won't work.
Mm-hmm.
We need 2 proper number 10s, and you're not going to drop Cunha and Burmo because you spent big money on them. The only other option is to play Bruno in the 8, but he doesn't play well there. So you now have this dilemma now where you have one of our best players in the past 10 years. Basically, we don't know where to put him anymore.
Exactly. And this is where I think the board has failed because someone should have looked at, the transfer list and said, hang on, you play this formation, right? You already have 2 10s already. You have Bruno and you have Ahmad. You add 2 10s to it. You want other players. We should have gotten one of either Cunha or Mbeumo, even though I love the fact that we have both. Because now this creates this kind of problem that we have. And sometimes I'm feeling, you know what? I'd love the ball carrying capacity of Cunha because he carries our ball so well. You know, he gets out of tight spaces. He bold at feet. He does well. And then on the other hand, when you put Mbeumo into space, he's so explosive. He creates chances. Like he was the closest to scoring. On the weekend, he actually was, I think, our brightest spark of the whole afternoon. So in terms of who I'm going to leave out, it's either going to be either Cunha or Bruno. You have to swap those two, in my opinion. Mbeumo has to stay because he has that explosive pace, and I think Mbeumo on the right also works well because once Mbeumo gets tired, put Ahmad in there. You know what I mean? Put Ahmad in there. They're going to rotate the both of them. You know, on the left side, we're swapping Cunha and Bruno, and I think Amorim should not be afraid to swap out Bruno in some of the games, because we cannot keep. One thing we cannot do is put like square pegs in round holes, and one thing we cannot do is keep trying to make Bruno play that number 6-8 role, that hybrid role. It's not working. It's not. So I don't know, Rich. I don't know what you think about this, but I think United have shot themselves in the foot.
I mean, I had my doubts at the start of the season. I thought the Arsenal game changed that. However, it just goes to show. I mean, they tried to improve their attack and not the defense, and he just seems to be mixed match and hoping to get the best out of all his players. Remember, like the golden era for England when we had the amazing midfield, but they're trying to fit Scholes, Lampard, and Gerrard all in the same formation. I just feel like Amarin's doing that now, rather than being like, you know what, I'm sorry, you're good, but we need to take you off. I don't think you. I think you have to do that with Kuna or Bruma, because Fernandez he's been quality for your last couple of years. Yes, he moans a lot. I think that's one thing you have to do, or you go for a lone striker and play like three behind him. The only option you can do, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Yeah, but he said that he's not going to change his philosophy. So we're going to have to see how these next couple games go, because if nothing improves, then he's unfortunately going to be out. And I don't want that to happen. But again, with Man United, we need to be up there.
no,
Even if
mhm.
even if we're not challenging, we need to be trying to get into Europe, because we're one of the biggest teams in the world.
I think I'm all for like the manager sticking with his philosophy, because for example, Conte came to the Premier League first season, played 3-4-3, won the thing. You know what I mean? So I'm never against like
It's different.
people.
That's a bit different because he had Abramovich backing,
No,
and
it's
Abramovich would splash cash, and he had a good back room.
very true, very true. But at the same time, he also did not compromise his system, because I think, as far as I could remember, that was one of the most shocking tactical changes we had seen in a while, because everyone was so used to a certain lifestyle. I think he was one of the first people to really be aggressive with a 3-4-3. I'm not saying there were no other managers in the Premier League who had done it, but I think with Conte, it was so people knew he played a 3-4-3, and then he came in and he played that 3-4-3, even though he didn't have backing. It He just came and played it, and it didn't change, and they won the Premier League. That's what I mean. So you shouldn't
But
change it.
with that 3-4-3, they also had Kante as well.
They had Kante, true, but then they played, I think, for example, it's different to Armour as well, because that one plays, is it two strikers, I think? Is it two strikers, the one Conte played, and then one attacking midfielder, and then
I'm
or
not too
whatever.
sure, but if you have a player like Kante anyway, you're gonna have that 8 player will basically be another 10, because Kante plays a 6. That runs that line.
Yeah, that's true. So that's what I mean. So yes, it's not. I don't think Amorim has been backed that well, in my opinion. But at the same time, he should not change his principle, because, like I said, all other managers we've had before have been sacked, and they played the formation that we love. They played the 4-2-3-1. They played the 4-3-3. Still got sacked. So I don't think he should change his formation. I just think he needs to actually just stick to his thing, and just actually make sure he continues to. First of all, he needs to change Bruno. I think, for example, that's the first thing. Change Bruno, change the goalkeeper, and maybe that'll actually help. And actually, have the balls to make the tough calls, but they're not the wrong tough calls. Because bringing Maguire in the game was not the perfect call for that, honestly. Because Maguire
There's
then
Kobe.
lost.
They need to bring Kobe on sooner.
Yeah,
But
you put Harry Maguire in the middle against Haaland. Pace-wise alone, that's a mismatch already. So if we're going to be playing a high line near the halfway line because we're trying to get a goal because it's 2-0, you put Harry Maguire in the middle against Haaland. Like, come on, it's not going to work, in my opinion.
I think we've spoken enough about this depressive topic. I think we should go on to another big story that happened this week, or in the last week and a half. Mr. Nuno Espirito Santo getting sacked by Forest due to a falling out with their owner, Evangelos Marinakis. What are your
I
thoughts?
think this is very sad for Forest, in my opinion. And reports are that the relationship started souring when Edu came in from Arsenal, because Edu has obviously got a vision of what he wants to do, and Nuno had another vision of what he wants to do. They clashed out, and obviously Nuno was not happy with the owner that Edu came in, and feelings erupted, and the relationship broke down, and it finished. It was inevitable. I feel it was inevitable. It was going to happen, but Forest has lost a gem. Nuno is such a good manager. Look at what he was able to get out of those players last season, where they finished, how they played. And I'll be honest, if I was a Forest fan and I see we're getting Ange instead of Nuno, that's a downgrade in my opinion.
I agree. I agree. The thing is with Ange and Marinakis, they've had a really good relationship in that sense where uh put what's it, Postecoglou was at Olympiacos when they won the Europa League with Olympiacos. Was it a Europa Conference League? Sorry, with Olympiacos. So they already have a good relationship in that sense. Um, in terms of the relationship between Nuno Espirito Santo and Marinakis going, I think, yeah, I agree. It's a massive downgrade because if you saw how Tottenham played last 2 seasons, they had no identity going in. It was like mishmash football where they would just chuck everything to the wind and let defensive capabilities just go out the window. And you saw that Tottenham were getting more and more injuries because the players just couldn't handle the system. And you're going to see that this season now with Postecoglou coming into Forest because you're going to have the players that won't be able to handle that system. They're going to get more injuries and it's going to affect their performance. But now um they've got to back him. They put him on like was it 2-3 year contract? I'm not too sure. I might need to fact check it.
What do you think, Rich, about this whole situation with the whole chat?
I just think it just shows no matter what you do as a manager now, whether you play good or bad, your job's not safe because it's either the players who are trying to oust you out or it's the chairman that's trying to oust you out. So I think managers these days are stuck between a rock and a hard place now, especially now they're more like head coaches than managers. I mean, sacking him due to a disagreement, I think's a bit wrong. Well, it is wrong in my opinion, but he's got the power to do it. Nuno will come back with another club and again prove people he's wrong. Having Pochettino in there, I don't know. I think it could be good for them. It would be definitely a style of football change. Will it take? It won't be fast either because Forest haven't got the defense like Tottenham did. They haven't got the Van der Ven who will sprint back, who can save them. So he's gonna. I reckon he will have to change his tactics this season because they're not going to work. I just think if he doesn't do it, he'll set himself up to fail. And he didn't have the players like he did for Tottenham. The Tottenham, at Tottenham, he wasn't a counter-attacking team. He was a press, whereas Forest are a counter-attacking team. They proved it last season. But it's also interesting how they're not playing well this season. After, 4 or 5 games? They're just not the same team as last season. Yes, they had Nuno for the first couple, but there's no reason why they started the way they have. Yes, they lost Alanga, but they're still more or less the same squad. So maybe are they one-hit wonder? Are we praising Nuno for having one good season? Possibly.
I think it's because the players could see it coming, in my opinion. And I think the people I feel sorry for are the players. Because if you look at someone like Morgan Gibbs-White, he was close to going to Spurs. It didn't happen. He was convinced to come back to Forest. I mean, Khush was talking about like guns behind people's backs, but hey, I'm not the one who was there. But like for example, if you're a player like Morgan Gibbs-White, for example, I had the life-changing opportunity to go and be Spurs' like attacking midfielder, right? Because they need one. Like they were missing one, and I have the potential to be that person. I'm convinced to stay. I'm thinking, great, Nuno's going to be here. It's going to be great. Boom, done. Now, Nuno is gone again. So the people I feel sorry for the most are players, like Aina, whatever. They used to Nuno, and then now they could see this happening back. It's not like they're not affected by it, Nuno's not that happy. He's not going to be pouring his heart into it, and maybe that caused it to perform, and then, inevitably it's going to happen. And it's going to be interesting to see because, like, Ange has route one football, like you were saying. I wonder if he's going to have to adapt to, like, a Forest type football and how long that adaptation is going to take. But yeah, I think it's just sad, to be fair. And I don't know
Would
if I don't know if Andrew would do well.
Would you take him at West Ham, Rich?
No, I wouldn't take him purely because he's next Tottenham manager anyway.
No, I meant Nuno.
Oh, Nuno. Oh, sorry. I thought you meant
But Nuno is an ex-Tottenham manager as well.
Yeah.
I mean, that is good, but he didn't last long at Tottenham. He had maybe 16 games, not even that, and then got booted out, which again was very harsh because he didn't have much of a bad record. I would have Nuno because I think he'd be a step up from he'd be like how Moyes used to play, but I think he'd be better with it because he
Would
will
that be a
bring in.
regression though? If you're wanting to go back to Moyes type of football?
The issue with Moyes' type of football that annoyed a lot of people is he was stuck in his ways. Like he had no plan B. Well, I think Nuno would have a plan B because he knows how to go on attack, and he knows how to bring young players through and get the best out of players. Moyes did; he was fantastic with it. But I think Nuno's just that bit of extra class. But I still don't mind Potter. I just think there's so much going on with us, which we can talk about, that Potter's not given a chance he could have. But to answer your question, I would, if Potter were to go, I would take Nuno over Mourinho. I think I would as well.
Let's slide into it. So you're playing Spurs. First half was 1-0, I think, wasn't it? Like
No,
it
it was
0-0 actually. Yeah,
it was 0-0. Yeah, because we had the
Holding.
Tottenham had a disallowed goal, which
Yeah.
wasn't really disallowed, but shouldn't be disallowed, I should say.
And then Suchek decides to just go out.
Yeah, that was an awful challenge.
Like, and then obviously you're struggling at central midfield already. Suchek does that. Your central midfield is off, and it's open gates for Spurs. So, is the Suchek red card like solely responsible for that result, or was it the over the course of 90 minutes just faded?
Well, if you look at us the first 15, 20 minutes, in my opinion, we're going toe to toe with them. Like, they looked dangerous from the set pieces, but we had a few chances where Paqueta could have scored. If he either passed it on to Somerville, we could have been 1-0 up in the first 15 minutes, which would have changed the game. But I think as the game went on and on, Tottenham started to dominate more, and they were lucky not to be 1-0 up in the first half. The issue is I don't know if you saw the game, but the defending for corners was shocking. I've not seen defending like it. They had all the West Ham defenders were 4 or 5 of them were stood at the front post. You had 2 people in the middle, and then you had 6 Tottenham players at the back post, just zonal marking. And you saw the ball come over. Kudos would kick the ball over. They stand there, do 180, and go, "Oh, where's the ball?" And you're just like, "What are you doing?" And they didn't learn from it. And the second half, it happens again. And honestly, replay, I was fuming, but I couldn't stop laughing. Like, the ball came over from Simmons, Simon Simmons, I think his name is.
Yeah.
Yeah, Simmons.
Ball comes over, and you just see like Kilman, you see Mavropanos, and you see Paqueta just stand there, jump and do a
Was it the
180
one
in
which
midair.
Saar
Yeah.
headed it in? Yeah.
And Sar's like, "Oh, hang on, I'll just put my Sudoku down. Oh, cheers for that." You know what I mean? And we didn't learn from it.
And
And you got Suchek's red card. I don't think it's as bad as you made it out to be. But
It was bad. He had his studs up and everything.
I think he lost his head. From
He
an
literally had it going towards his knee.
He just lost his head. Like there was no need, in my opinion, to make that tackle. The player was contained. You're literally near the halfway line, right? You were nowhere near the ball. Why? That's my question. Why?
The difference is, I agree with you. It was a desperate lunge, but if he kept his foot pointed, it would have been fine. It's just because his foot naturally went up. Yes, he did catch his socks, and damage was bad. But I just don't know. I've seen worse tackles for red cards.
I agree on that, but the thing is, it was a red due to him coming in studs up.
Yes,
and it was knee high. It wasn't even on the socks. It was knee high.
Yeah, I agree. It was a red card, but I don't know. I think I've seen worse tackles.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't think he
100%.
lost his head. He just
100%.
Yeah, he just panicked. In my opinion, he panicked. I need to get the ball back because we're under pressure, and he just gets sent off. And then the ball from Romeo over the top, a fantastic ball. But again, like, you've got to defend that. I'm sorry, but
how do you defend that one? Because that was Bergwijn was, unless you're like talking about much like
Bergwijn.
not yeah.
Bergwijn's at Ajax, mate.
Sorry, not Bergwijn. Gosh, I keep mixing them up. The number 15 for Spurs. I keep what's his name?
Is that number 15?
Yeah, hang on 1 second. I keep mixing up the names.
It's one of them names that's hard to
It's
pronounce.
Bergwijn. Sorry, Bergwijn, not Bergwijn.
Oh.
Bergwijn. It's the guy that the similar names. Bergwijn made it such a good run.
You just
How are
switch
you
on,
gonna-
don't you? You just switch on and go, oh, there's a player there. Oh, he just ran between us. Oh, all right, crack on. You know, it's like a security guard just letting someone out of the shop. You go, oh, he just nicked something. Oh, crack on. You know, it's criminal. That's what it is. And then the third goal went in, and again,
It was done.
they got a bit of luck with that, in my opinion. It just sort of bobbled about, and Van der Ven just smacked in bottom corner.
Backed into the corner.
But as soon as we went down to 10 men, we lost it. And I won't get on the big hype, but I don't know what deal he's got with James Ward-Prowse at the moment. Like, not taking him off. You could just tell he was leggy. You take him off for someone else, but he just kept him on there. And
He
then
did take him off, but he took him off way too late.
89th minute. And you're like, and then, of course, I mean, most of the fans, quite a few fans boycotted that game, and I think they're boycotting the Brentford game as well. A lot of issues with the chairman. A lot of issues with the stadium. Like, our chairman's no longer speaking to media apparently because the media aren't backing him. We're just a club that's struggling with out of touch owners. I don't see it get better for us at the moment. But this is why I think Potter deserves a chance, because he's working in an environment where it's toxic from the top downwards. You can't expect anyone to thrive with that, especially your focal point.
I've got a question for you. There's reports that came out recently that they were saying that Paquetá is grateful to West Ham, but this is his final season. With him wanting to leave next summer, would that be a more of a downgrade now that you're losing a player like him, as after losing Kudus this summer?
Personally, I would rather Paquetá gone in the summer. Like, I think he's good going forward, but defensively he doesn't offer much. Again, he loses the ball a lot. I think if we got 45, 50 million for him to stay, I think we could brought in maybe younger talent who's willing to do more the dog running. He's willing.
Don't you feel like if you saw out your central midfield, that'd be better? Because right now, for example, if you've got Paquetá up front, then you've got James Ward-Prowse and Souček behind you, you're not gonna have the greatest cover, right? So if you have like a better central midfield partnership, right? Don't you think that's gonna help you? Because you need goals. So first and foremost, you need goals. So if you've got Bowen and Paquetá who are gonna be creative for you, and then you've got a solid central midfield pair, I think you're fine. But like you're saying, you got James Ward-Prowse, Souček, and I think he played them because I don't think he has anyone else, to be fair, to really play in that central midfield. Like, so it's kind of like he's stuck in a rock and a hard place for who to play in central midfield. And now obviously you've got Paquetá, who for example, is going to be your creative force, but defensively not great. So now you've got a poor central midfield partnership. One of them gets sent off. It's kind of like...
You got that Mateus Fernandes who we bought from Southampton, who looked pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
The lad that
the
came
bench on this one.
No, he started.
He was played.
Yeah, he started. He did. Then we had the one from Monaco. I don't ask me to pronounce his name because my pronunciation is terrible with stuff like this.
Was it Magassa?
Yeah, that's the one. And when we had him, he's probably going to start the next 3 games, so they could have both started. I don't know. I just think with Paquetá, I've always thought when I had my season ticket at the stadium, there's always a liability. Like, you just watch him and go, he's going to lose it. He's going to lose, and he loses it. You're like, oh, and then you just, hands up in the air. You just don't want that as a club.
Yeah.
And then, our defense is just, I don't know what the situation with Aaron Wan-Bissaka not playing. I get Kyle Walker-Peters.
I think he was injured.
Was he injured?
I think he got injured during internationals.
Fair one. That's the case then. But I know Kyle Walker-Peters had a good game against Forest. But Wan-Bissaka, I just think he just offers more. But yeah, not in a good situation, and we just need a young striker as well. A young striker, more solid defenders, and we're better now. We're going forward at the back.
So
as well.
having thought about this, you're saying you need to give Graham Potter more time, which is fair. I think every fan would think that. But what's your realistic outcome for the season if things continue the way they are? So let's say you don't get that many signings in January, which is looking likely. So you don't get no one, or maybe one signing only. Is it possible for relegation?
Window's closed, so no signings until December now.
As I'm saying, so like January, let's say they get 1 or 2 players in January max, which is looking unlikely as well because they don't want to spend the cash. Do you think it's more of a relegation fight now?
I think we'll be in a relegation battle, but we'll be in the sense of I think we'll still finish 16th. I think we'll be in a relegation battle maybe up to maybe February, and we'll start pulling away. That's what I reckon. I don't think we're going to be in the bottom 3, but I think at the end of the season we'll probably be like 5-6 points above the relegation zone.
Speaking
I think
of,
there's a lot of clubs in our position as well.
Speaking of bottom 3, a surprise name's there, Aston Villa.
Yeah.
Let's go into Villa a bit. Actually, I'm shocked, to be fair, because they've retained most of the squad. I think the only person who left was one who went to Newcastle. I forgot who went to Newcastle. Remind me. I forgot. I'll check. Was it the midfielder went to Newcastle?
Ramsey, wasn't it?
Ramsey, thank you. There you
Yeah.
go. It's only Ramsey who left and went to Newcastle. They've still got the majority of the same squad, and they're struggling. And I'm just finding it baffling as to why they're not as creative as last time. If they've been figured out, or if they're just not clicking, I'm not sure.
I think it's more due to like they're unable to get the ball towards Morgan Rogers. Well, when Morgan Rogers does get it, he brings it forward, but I think Ollie Watkins isn't in any good form at the moment, so he's not making them run. So normally with Ollie Watkins, you could easily just get it over the defender, and then they could get it through. In terms of their defensively, they lost out in like the first 2 games, well, the second and third game because they didn't have Ezra Konsa in the team because he was serving a suspension for the red card in their first game. They haven't really invested in their fullbacks a lot because they've still got Matty Cash and Dina, who have been there for quite some time now. And they had like players like Ian Matson on the bench, but he hasn't even proved himself. I don't think he's very inconsistent compared to when he was at Dortmund. And everyone knows that when Dortmund show a young player coming through, everyone gets a bit off their seat thinking, oh, is this going to be the next big thing? You saw it with Sancho, you saw it with Haaland, saw it with Achraf Hakimi, and some of them don't work out. And I think Matson's one of them. Tielemans hasn't been. I think in terms of the Villa themselves, I don't think they're a team in form. I think they're lacking a bit of confidence. I think Unai Emery has done quite a good job with that team, with the way they brought it through. But I think players such as like Marcus Rashford last season was helping them in key points. Marco Asensio as well. Took him on loan from PSG. Those are players that were making differences in their lineups, and you could see that when they were playing like the likes of PSG and the other big teams. But now they don't have those players, so they have to resort to like Emi Buendia or like John McGinn.
I was actually gonna say like the problems are on the wing. Actually, like for example, they're saying Buendia and McGinn. McGinn is not a winger now, to be fair, and Buendia is better in the middle. I think. But I think Buendia is better as a number 10 than as a winger.
I think Buendia. I'm surprised that Buendia is still at Villa. Not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Why he got loaned out because he wasn't good enough to play and beat the likes of Marcus Rashford, who was having an awful season last season. If you can't beat Marcus Rashford last season, how are you still in that squad? How have you not bought a player to put on that wing? Because if I'm looking at on their bench, they had Jadon Sancho on the bench.
Yeah.
You're not going to play Jadon Sancho because he's still not match fit and he's very inconsistent. They had, I think, someone called Sam Proctor. I think that's from their academy. You're not going to put him on. Victor Lindelof He was there. Ian Matson, Pau Torres. Then you have Harvey Elliott, who apparently had a very, very good game in that sense. But again,
Came on
there
to
was nothing. They had nothing going forward. Then you have Daniel Malen.
who I
He
think they
has.
should have played.
They should have played him, but they're not going to drop. You're not going to drop Ollie Watkins.
No.
And then Evan Guasand. I don't know much about him. Not gonna lie. So I'm not going to say much about that
No,
player.
he's the
But
Dortmund striker. He's another Dortmund player, isn't he? Or ex-Dortmund player, I
oh,
should say.
so then in terms of Villa themselves, they're not in good form. They're not. They're not a team that looks confident when they play. But then you're playing against an Everton side who have their tails up, who have not game-changing players, but can change games in these types of sense. With Jack Grealish, with Dewsbury Hall, with Iliman Jai, and then you have Beto as well that's in form as well. So it's going to be a very difficult game for them, and it's going to be they need to really pick their heads up because if they don't, they're going to start dropping off more and more. And plus, they have European football this season, so that's going to even affect them even more.
I actually think in Europe
Yeah.
they might do well because I think it's a bit different to the Premier League, so they might just coast a little bit, like at least in the earlier stages. But I think you're right. Actually, one thing they're suffering from is that wing play, especially like the fullbacks and the wings. Yeah, you can't have Buendia right now. He's not going to be effective. Like Jadon Sancho, maybe when he comes into form, he's going to be good, which I think he will be. But that's one wing, so that's going to be the left wing, for example. That's it. You still got no one on the right wing because McGinn is not it on the wing, unfortunately. He hasn't got the pace. He does have a good cross on him, but that's about it. To be fair, he's better off in the midfield than on the wing, in my opinion. So yeah, I just think. Which what do you think? What do you think Villa needs to just get that kind of push, click, just to grind forward?
I agree with what you guys are saying. I don't think they ever replaced Diaby really when he went to Saudi. What 2 seasons ago or last season before last? Yeah, and they don't. And then Bailey, of course, they haven't replaced Leon Bailey.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him.
Yeah, Bailey, yeah.
Yeah, he's gone as well. I've not really watched a lot of Villa this season, so I can't comment too much on them. But they are literally just a team lacking that spark. And I think if they get a go, they'll push on. I think it's just a hangover from last season, like from playing all the games, all the excitement. Their first time in Champions League, and they're really good. Well, I thought they were quite good, and I just think they all was burnt out because they didn't have a really big squad. It's the same like when again I go back to England when all the England players came back after losing. I was the Euros or was the one at the World Cup before that. They all came back and they were just all the players were just shattered. And I think it's the same. It's the same thing. They've pushed really hard. They got quite high in the table, and now they're just falling flat on their feet. I don't think they've had enough preseason.
I don't think
that's
it
why.
helped with the Emi Martinez situation as well, where you don't know who your goalkeeper is going to be. So, and then it doesn't help that your manager's going into an interview saying Mark Bizot, Mark Bizot, Mark Bizot.
But
It's just
can,
it's a great way to back your keeper, but it's not what you want to hear because you want that steadiness of that. Oh, we're going to have a number one keeper, and it just doesn't help.
Well, also
can I
don't
just
forget
say,
about John McGinn. John McGinn was going to go as well to Newcastle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They lost Jacob Ramsey as well, and Jacob Ramsey was one of those players that can, even though Unai Emery put him as a sub, even when he started, he was causing problems in that sense where you're breaking through the lines and everything. You don't have that in that team anymore, where then you have a player breaking through the lines. Because Yuri Tielemans is a passer, he won't try to drive that ball through. Then you have
You got
who's his
Onana as
called?
well.
Yeah, you have Onana as well. Yeah, it's just that team's just lacking a lot of energy, lacking some confidence. So it's just how do you get that back? But as you said, I think it's a hangover from last season. They lost players like Asensio, they've lost Leon Bailey, Diaby, and all that, and they haven't really replaced them. And now they're just having to deal with what they've got now.
can I just say though, like, what a performance by Martinez! What a performance!
Yeah.
This is something that annoys me because I really wanted to be United for this very reason. Because he's ready to go now. Like he's taken how many weeks off? He's come back now. Boom, man of the match performance. And fantastic saves, which against City, I think he would have clattered Haaland like multiple times. So, but anyway, we'll move past that. But anyway, what a performance by Martinez. So, if there's
It's good.
anything,
It's a good thing that a goalkeeper can just bounce back like that, because some goalkeepers that had that bit of a, oh, I thought I was going to leave this summer, but I didn't, and so I'm going to play a bit shitter now because I can't not focus anymore. But he didn't. He came back as if he'd never left.
Mhm.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
I do want to say something to you, Joshy boy.
yep.
You know, Wolves lover. They're
Hey,
bottom of the league, no wins, and
listen,
they got they're 4-0. They're going to that 007 spot. And they've conceded to a new Newcastle striker, the 6'6" German, Nick
Nick
Watermatter.
Baltimore. I'll say this first of all before we go into Wolves. I was looking forward to Nick's debut, to be fair, because I just saw clips of him before he came to Newcastle. Like, bloody hell, these guys have got a striker, and he did not disappoint. Movement was sharp, header was good. He looks like he's going to be good, and it looks like he's going to be a good replacement for Isak. He plays differently to Isak, though. I think where Isak was a bit more direct, he's a bit more technical. He
Mm.
floats in about. He makes like darting little runs in the box itself, not like a dude run into the box. So different striker. Excited to see what he's about, but excited for his debut goal and actually looking forward to watching him in the Premier League. When it comes to Wolves, though, um,
Here it goes.
they played well. Like they actually played well.
But they're
Like,
4-0.
sorry,
They're 4-0.
they're 4-0, but do you know Wolves annoy me? Not annoy me, but it makes me sad because anytime they play, you can see they play well. Like for example, they nearly scored 2 goals in the first minute because they started out there. They have good structure, and it didn't look like the game was going away from them until that goal. And even after that goal, it was not a Newcastle show. It was still like Wolves still trying and all that. Newcastle almost lucky to get a point. And I'm saying almost because Wolves, I don't feel like did enough to actually win the game or to actually draw the game. So Newcastle deserved win, but Wolves were there, and it just annoyed me that they don't seem to have that cohesion to
Cohesion.
actually exactly that cohesion to actually just get over the line. But they play well. Like I like Wang Hee-chan, like he's a good player and all that. But I just don't know what's gonna make them win.
They haven't made like Premier League signings. Like the caliber players they've got aren't Premier League signings compared to when they first came into the Premier League X amount of years
Mm,
ago.
yeah.
Um, they haven't really recruited well. But I can't
Yeah.
say that in the sense of what my team's been recruiting. But as a neutral in the sense of Wolves, they haven't really recruited well this summer. Um, and I think they're going to really struggle this season. As I said at the beginning, I think they're going to be relegated this season.
Yeah, I actually don't think they will be relegated because, like, I think you can see from the way they're playing. No, like, legitimately, I think it's only a matter of time before something starts happening. You know what I mean? It's different to, no offense, Rich, but to West Ham. West Ham at the moment, they look bewildered. You know what I mean? Like, West Ham right now, for me, look more
Disjointed.
likely to get relegated than Wolves. Only because, like, if Wolves and West Ham were to play right now, Wolves are going to win that game.
Well, they beat
West
us
Ham's got the
3-2 in the
game.
cup, didn't they?
So again?
They beat us 3-2 in the cup.
Do you see what I mean? So it's legitimately. So that's why I think they're not going to go down. I think they've had a bit of a rough start, to be fair. With the teams they've had to play, you have to play Man City and
Yeah.
you've had to play Newcastle in your first 4 games. That's going to be a rough start. The other two, I forgot. Who did they play again before this?
Who?
Wolves. I know they played Man City. Then they played Newcastle. I forgot who else they played as well. So I mean, you're not really going to take points away from those games and all that. So I think they've been lucky. I think they're going to come good because you can see some things that they're structured.
They
They're
played
playing.
Everton.
Sorry,
They played Everton.
which like Everton started to turn on the gas that time, isn't it? Like and
Mm.
then
Yeah, I think it was 2-1.
yeah. So I think they've just been unlucky. I think they're gonna get into it. I think when they start playing teams around their level a bit more often, not playing the big guys, they're gonna come good. I believe in Wolves. I believe in Wolves.
Hoping or wanting?
Hoping, because no, like I have to be honest. Like they might go 0 for 10. You know what I mean?
Do you
Even
know the
though they
last?
have good
Do
structure.
you know who the last manager was that got 4-0 and the team that done that? Do you know who the last team was?
Was it West
It was
Brom?
7-0. Sorry, 7-0.
West Brom was it? With
No, Frank de Boer, Crystal Palace.
'cause didn't
Oh
Vieira come in
gosh,
after him?
he was he was a terrible manager. But you see the difference
Similar
between
record.
I know, but see the difference between him and Wolves right now. At that time, Crystal Palace was just literally no identity, no nothing.
What,
Crystal
it was
Palace was
just Will
just
for
a team.
Zaha, wasn't it?
Exactly. Like if it wasn't for Zaha, like Zaha was literally the saving grace. If it wasn't for Zaha, did nothing else. Whereas in Wolves, yes, they're struggling, but then they're playing well in game. Like it's. I don't know how to explain it. It's like they play. I can see the patterns. I can see the solidity. It's not easy to break. You can't go to Wolves and think we're gonna break them down. Except for City, this isn't that's good. So I don't know, but I feel Wolves will come. I'm okay. I'm hoping they will come good. I can't say they will come good, but I'm hoping that they will come good. Quickly gonna touch on Arsenal 3-0 win routine against Forest.
I think we already spoken about that. I don't.
No, we spoke about Forest. We didn't speak about Arsenal,
Mm.
which I think there's nothing much to say besides the fact that the loss to Liverpool last time around with a what do you call it, lovely free kick.
I'm going to stick to what I said before. They're not winning anything this season. They don't look any different to how they were before. They might have added Eze and Zubimendi
Right, yeah.
and Gyökeres. They don't look as threatening as before. I'm going to say they're not going to win anything this season.
This is where I might disagree with you actually, only because I'm saying this. They've bolstered the squad now. For example, in this game, Eze was on the left. I think for the part I was seeing him, it was mostly on the left. I forgot who was in the middle. And now they have that versatility, like just to switch around players in certain positions and all that. So I think that's going to be more important in the long run for those games that they didn't win, which were draws, but not the big games. Like the other games, like mid-table teams, which they'll draw. I think now they've got more than enough firepower to turn those draws into wins, which is going to make it interesting.
Well, you
So,
saw him. Martin Odegaard got injured.
Say again?
Sorry, where'd you get that from?
What do you mean?
They struggled against us. They got lucky with that win. They then played a Leeds side, newly promoted, and they did beat them. Then they played Liverpool, and they didn't look good against Liverpool. And then you have a Forest side that's having a changing of the guard, basically. So, in terms of Arsenal-wise, they haven't changed. They haven't.
No,
They've
they've not.
bolstered their squad, but Gyökeres gets bullied whenever he gets a physical defender because he's only played against farmers basically in Portugal. Then you have Zubimendi, who, to be fair, Zubimendi has been good. I can't fault him. No, Eze, we haven't seen too much of, but
Assist this
you
weekend.
you got an assist, and then only Noni Madueke is, I think, their biggest spark so far.
But that's exactly what I'm saying. Whereas in last season, the difference is as the season goes on. So we're not talking because we're only 5 games in, but as the season goes on, those 0-0 draws or 1-1 draws they were getting against the mid-table teams, now that you've bolstered your squad, is going to be potential to turn 1 point into 3, which is going to mount more of a challenge. So I'm not saying they're playing any better or worse than they were doing last season. What I'm saying is now with the business they've done, it's been very good because those 1 points they got, like, the draws, the mini draws they got, and whatever. I mean, they're called, like they play defensive ball, whatever. But now against the mid-table teams, you've now got Eze, you've got Noni Madueke, right? So let's say on a normal day, you're going to start with Gyökeres, Odegaard, Saka, Eze, right? Now you can bring in Noni Madueke and all the other people, and you still have more of a chance of winning that game, which looks impossible. Or if you want to rest Saka and play more Madueke for one game, that's no. Let's say they've got a major Champions League game on the Wednesday, and then they've got
They don't
Burnley.
rest Saka.
No, but all I'm saying is you've got a major Champions League game on the Wednesday, right? Against whoever, and then you've got Burnley on the Saturday or maybe Friday early kickoff, right? And you want to rest Saka, you can put him off after 45 minutes because you've got Madueke.
Yeah, no, I agree, but I think Arsenal won't do that though.
Who knows? But I'm just saying, I think they're more okay. Let me put it this way: they're more equipped to take more points than they did last season, not because of style of play, but just because of the players at their disposal.
I agree. I think they've bolstered their squad well. They've added players that they needed to add, but I still don't. I'm not convinced that they will be able to win anything this season.
What do you think, Rich?
I said at the start of the season what you said when Arsenal played Man U, they grinded out a 1-0 win, and which I think is a good sign of a good team. Play poorly but still win. Leeds game against Leeds. Leeds have actually proven quite hard to play against this season. Like I thought they would struggle, but they've proven quite well. Liverpool been playing poor. Well, they were winning, but they're not fluid. The chemistry isn't quite there at the moment, and they only lost due to a fantastic goal. And then Forest, they just destroyed Forest. Like we destroyed Forest. I think it's still hard to say. I think they could win something, but again, I think it will only be like a domestic cup. If it was, it'd be the FA Cup.
Which then brings me to the next point, because like now we're talking about Arsenal and they're not playing well, but equally the people at the top of the table at the moment, Liverpool, I would 100% say if the Arsenal are playing well, they definitely are playing well, and they're grinding more results. Granted, they're getting the wins, which is fair. Like a sign of a title-winning team is grinding those wins, even though it looks like you're not going to win. But Liverpool are not playing well.
No.
If we're being honest, they're not fluid. They don't look like a solid unit yet. Defensively, they seem to have they're still a bit shaky. And Gehi was supposed to solve that, but he's not going to solve that now and all that. So Liverpool's not playing too well as well at the moment. What do you think is the missing link? Like what is causing Liverpool not playing well? Is it the change in the system a little bit?
I would like to say this. They're 4-0. They've won. They played 4, won 4. You can say they're not playing well, but results say otherwise.
But that goes against your comment about Arsenal. You said that Arsenal won't win anything, but Arsenal did.
They won't win anything in that sense. But in terms of then grinding out a result, I do believe they can grind out a result. But to say that Liverpool are playing shoddy, but they've won all their games.
I know they have, but then that's what I'm saying. So isn't that going to be a problem for the future? You know what I mean? Yes, you should be able to grind results as a title-winning team. You should be able to grind results every week, right? But how long can they keep grinding out results every week?
The thing is with Liverpool, it's different. Liverpool is different to Arsenal because Liverpool have the players that won the Premier League, Champions League, all that. They have the game changers to do that. I don't believe Arsenal have those players just yet. They have been very close to making that step to winning something, but until they've won something, they will mess up in certain points.
But then, do you not feel like at one point down the road, Liverpool is going to crash when the game load especially starts being condensed? Because right now, it's almost been one game a week. Now the Champions League is going to come back in full swing. They're not really playing too well. When is Liverpool going to get that click into gear? Do you know what I mean?
Because I agree. But the thing is that there's this whole thing about the football calendar. They've been doing this football calendar for ages anyway.
True.
So in terms of game management, they've played the Champions League last season. They played every cup last season. They actually got quite far on it last season compared to an Arsenal side. I'm saying last season where they had a similar sort of schedule. They lost to a shit United. They then got dumped out at quarterfinals? But they got dumped out by a good PSG team. And then the other cup, I think they got knocked out in the semi-finals. So they don't have the players to push them to that next level last season. This season, I would say, I know I'm being a bit contradictory and they have a chance, but I still don't think they can make that next step just yet. I think they need to gel a bit more.
Okay, Rich, what do you think the problem is with Liverpool though? Like in terms of them not kicking on, what is going on for them not to do it?
I mean, I'm going to say it. I think the passing of Jota, I think that has a massive effect on your colleagues. When it's one thing a player getting transferred out to another club is one thing, but when you think you're never seeing that player again, yeah, I think it's got to have a bit of a mental impact on people. You know, back of their minds, used to seeing him running on a wing. Maybe it's still that. Maybe they're still affected by that, but also they've got a few. They've got a few more key players now. Like Frimpong, he got injured in the first or second game. The first game he got injured. He's still bedding in. They've not really had a right back because Conor Bradley's been injured. Szoboszlai's been playing there the last couple of games. The German player Wirtz in
Words.
the Cafe, he's not been the same player as last season. He seems to be struggling, and with him in the middle, he's meant to be your your playmaker, and
So
he's not working.
do you believe like they should start? So last season in that role, McAllister kind of played that
Yeah.
10 role. So do you believe like it's a thing of like reverse play style is not really like adapted to Liverpool yet because McAllister used to play that system role last season so well.
McAllister's been injured, so he's actually come back into the squad when they
Yeah.
played their last game.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like in terms of McAllister's number 10 play style compared to Vert's number 10 play style, kind of like McAllister suits Liverpool a bit more than Verts at the moment. So is Verts like still adapting, and once he does, would it kick on kind of thing? You know,
Wirtz is still
maybe.
adapting, but he's not adapting quick enough at the moment. 'Cause I think his play is affecting the game.
I agree. And the thing is, with a price tag of what he's got, you have to hit the ground running.
Yeah.
Well, people start talking about it.
As we are at the moment. But yeah, I don't know. It's just it's incredible for Liverpool. I mean, they keep on grinding. They keep on getting the results. So it's gonna be interesting. I saw so sometimes ESPN just riles me up sometimes, but they have to report news at the end of the day. But they're saying that Salah's form is declining. Do you guys also believe that?
Yes.
He hasn't been playing well as he normally does, but you can never count Salah out. He is a Premier League legend at this point. He is. You can never count him out. He will show up in those moments where he will be able to change a game. But I think from the beginning of the season, he hasn't been playing to the standard that we've seen him play. I think that's been empowering. But it's Salah. I think he's gonna kick on soon enough. It's either that or he's waiting for that. He realizes that this is last season.
Fair. No, I feel you. Quickly moving on to Chelsea, 2-2 draw. They were winning 2-1. Last minute equalizer. Garnacho on the far post, not Marcus Man, FYI. But what we feel about Chelsea is that they just top four, and that's it. We don't think they're gonna go for any title aspirations this season in terms of they're too inconsistent with it and all that.
Yeah.
And
Top
what do you
four.
feel about
Top four.
I think they're going to get top four. They just have too many players. It's like too many cooks in the kitchen right now, and they just I just stand that squad. It's just there's so many quality players, and people. The thing is, people still want to go there. It's like, what are you gonna do? What? It's just top four, but if you think even Enzo Maresca is trying to figure out what's his best starting lineup, and what are you gonna do? It's like they'd lost Delap, and
Injured,
they
yeah.
brought back Mark. They brought back Mark Gui, or something
Yeah.
like that, and he didn't even play the game. He literally was on the bench. They rather go for George.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, George? It's literally like I'm watching the game, I'm seeing this George, I'm like, what's going on? So yeah, they've got so many players, but the one key position which you guys might help me answer here, Sanchez, is he a good enough goalkeeper for Chelsea? Yes or no?
Compared to the legendary goalkeepers they've had before, no. Courtois,
It's-
check. No. No.
Because he makes a good save. Then the next time actually like the goal lets in, I'm like, could have done it a little bit better. I don't
I
know.
don't think he's
Rich,
good
what
enough.
do you think about Sanchez's?
No,
Yeah.
I don't think he's good enough. I know it's easy to say, but he's got too many mistakes in him. I understand that they got to get through 11, 10 other players to get to him, but he's not. He's not. I don't think he's reliable enough. You're always seeing him and think, oh, is he going to pat it in? Is he not? They need someone a bit stronger. Even if they went for like a a Ramsdale, I think would have been an upgrade for them.
He's a better buy-in dude.
True. That actually is true. Yeah, I don't think it's good enough for them. And I think of all the players they're getting, they should have gone for a goalkeeper. I think they could have tried to go for Donnarumma, in my opinion. They could have gone for what's called is it what's his name? Mainan from AC Milan. No,
Oh yeah,
I think they
Mike
wanted.
Oh
Maignan.
yeah,
Actually, they almost got him. They should have continued, in my opinion,
yeah.
to go for him. Anyone else better? I think that's the level they just need to step up to. One last, two teams I want to speak about real quick. First of all, Bournemouth. Do we think they're going to make a, European challenge? 4 games gone,
They're gonna
3-1. They're looking good. Good manager. Semenyo doing the things. They're
they,
good to be.
I think they're gonna get top half. They're gonna challenge for
Mm.
those spots. I think they're just gonna miss out. They're just gonna miss out. I think Semenyo's gonna carry that team though.
Mhm.
They might get
He has
Europa
been
League, but
electric. Conference League or Europa League?
Conference League, sorry, Conference League. I think they get Conference League. If they do, or like I said, just miss out. But I think they'll be around about that position.
Fair. Because, yeah, I think I look at the manager. He sets them up so well. The players they have there so good as well. It's just, it's a
Do,
well-oiled machine when it comes to Bournemouth.
you know what's funny about Bournemouth? When Irola came in, he didn't have a good start, and people were
Yeah,
asking him to be sacked, and the board stuck with him. And look what's happened.
that's true. That's actually true.
He played the
Um,
system that he wanted to play, and he brought in the players that he wanted to play. And look what's happened. Do you know what? United needs to have Michael B. Jordan get a minor stake in that team.
honestly, like anyone is better at this point, in my opinion. Like even
Oh.
people who don't know football will run the club better than our current people. But I digress. Brighton, they're just losing that touch they had. They're losing that element of, you know, solidity we had in Brighton. Now they're just
They're
an average
declining.
team.
They're doing what every feeder club's ever done is that they've fed too many clubs without feeding themselves in that
Yeah,
sense. Where
I
they've
agree.
got it's happened with Southampton where they fed too many clubs without feeding themselves, and look what's happened to them. It's a cycle that goes on. But oh, sorry, I'm watching the other game as well, and Carvalhal's just headbutt a goalkeeper.
Is it still 1-0?
It's 1-1.
Yeah,
But yeah, in terms of Brighton, feeder club fed too many mouths, haven't fed themselves, and they're just basically getting a bit of a tummy ache right now until they Chelsea's bought too many of their players.
that's true. That's true. All right, I think I'm gonna start now with. We actually have some good games coming up this weekend. So we have quite a lot of predictions to go through, and we are going to start with the tasteful and delightful Merseyside derby. Liverpool versus Everton at Anfield, early kickoff on the Saturday. Who's going to win that one? Kush.
Oh, that is a very hard game to actually
Uh,
predict because both teams, even though Liverpool's got that 4-0, Everton are in good form at the moment. I'm saying 1-1. I'm saying 1-1.
I was going to say
Rich?
1-1 as well. I think that Liverpool Champions League midweek, and I don't think they have a very very good record when it comes to Saturday early kickoffs after Champions League game. So I'm going to say 1-1 as well.
I'm actually going to say 2-1 to Liverpool because I feel like there's going to be that last minute Salah madness, or I don't know, something's going to happen. It's at Anfield. If it was at Goodison Park, 1-1 all day. every day. In fact, I would even give like Everton the edge on that one. But it's at Anfield. That's it. It's Anfield. I think that's the telling factor for me. It's going to be a very tight game, but 2-1. And yeah, so that's what I think. But we'll tally that up. Brighton and Spurs. That's the next game at 3 p.m. I think Spurs are going to win that. Actually, no, it's a 2-2 for me on that one.
You think 2-2? That's very audacious. That's very audacious.
I think it's what you call it. Brighton's home. Spurs, you never know with Spurs.
Spurs are in very good form at the moment.
But you never know.
I'm saying 2-1 Spurs.
I think Khush is reading my mind. I was going to say 2-1 Spurs with Danny Welbeck getting a goal again. I was going to say.
Yeah. The only problem is I think it's at the Amex, and Spurs, you never know what's going to happen with Spurs. Like, they might do Spursy stuff. I remember they beat Man City, then they lost to, I forgot who they lost
Bournemouth
to.
1-0.
Bournemouth, exactly. So, yeah. Which Bournemouth, to be fair, has been playing well. So, who knows? But I think it's going to be a 2-2. 2-2 draw on this one. Burnley Forest, which is going to be actually an interesting game. That's going to be an interesting game.
I'm going to say 1-0 Burnley.
I'm going to win the Forest.
Forest,
yeah.
I think Forest.
Nah, this one's gonna go Burnley. I think Burnley, they've got they have Scott Parker doing the things. They have a set system. Forest is still learning under Ange. Burnley can be solid if they want to be. Burnley at home, it's gonna be 1 or 2-0 for Burnley for me.
The reason I'm saying Burnley's going to win is because Forest are in that period of like turbulence where you have a new manager. They don't know if they can buy into it yet. Yeah. So it's either going to have a bounce or they're not. But after that first game, heads are going to be a little dropped. So it depends on what's coming.
Yeah, definitely. Next game after that is going to be West Ham and Crystal Palace.
Rich, come on, Rich. It's your turn.
Do the honors.
You know what? I wouldn't surprise me if that was a 0-0. I reckon that wouldn't surprise me.
Khush?
I mean, yeah, I'll go 0-0. I don't think Palace have got anything going up front.
I'm going to shock both of you, and I think actually West Ham is going to win that one. I think West Ham's going to win that one.
Get the bets in right now.
I'm going to get the bets now. I think it's going to be a 1-0, then park the bus kind of thing was going to happen there. I think the problem is the fans are going to be on the players' back at the stadium. So, yeah, the players have to react. If they come under pressure, it's going to be a win for Crystal Palace. So, no. Wolves versus Leeds. Now, as much as I love Wolves, Leeds have been solid. So I think it's going to be a 1-0 loss for Wolves there, to be fair. I don't know about you, Khush, but yeah, that's what I'm going for.
I think it's going to be 1-0 Wolves.
Oh, now you back Wolves.
I don't back. I know they're not playing well. They're going to get relegated, but I think they're going to try to suffocate Leeds a bit. But then Leeds are a pressing team, so that'll leave a lot of holes. And Wolves are a Premier League team. So
I'm going to say 2-1 Wolves, I reckon Leeds aren't going to part the bus. I think they're going to go for it. And I think they're going to get caught out.
You guys are unbelievable. The one time I go against Wolves, you guys are going to go for Wolves. You know what? It's cool. Yeah, it's cool. That's all right.
You should back your teams. You should back your team.
Crunch time on Saturday, Man United versus Chelsea, 5:30 p.m. at Old Trafford. 2-2. And that's me being optimistic, to be fair.
That game really depends on if United score first. If United score first, then we'll try to kick on with that game. If Chelsea can score first, their heads will drop. So I'm going to still back my team. I'm going to say 1-0 United.
Rich?
Again, it depends who shows up, both teams, doesn't it? I'm going to say... I'm going to go out there. I'm going to say 3-1 United.
Whoa. Not expecting too much.
I'm going to go out there and say 3-1 United.
Look, I appreciate the confidence you have in my team right now, but nah, yeah, I just
the
I
home
don't.
crowd for that game. I just think.
I think the home crowd is actually going to help us get a draw because my problem is if we have Bruno in that number 8 role again,
He is
we are
trying to
going
play in that
to lose.
number 8 role.
Yeah, and the problem is these guys have Casillero in there, and he has been performing. He has been so damn good, and that's the kind of player we need. And he's the kind of player who, when he links with Enzo, because what's happening now is Enzo's gone into a little bit of a deeper role, right? Enzo and Casillero is going to create problems for us. They are. So I just need Bruno not to be part of that midfield. I just need Ugarte and Mainu in that midfield, and then we can keep up, in my opinion. That's it. If we play Bruno at midfield, I think we're more likely going to lose than anything else. That's why I'm going to put 2-2 because I don't know what's going to happen. And 2, the goalkeeper, if we start with Bandia, we're going to lose that game. Lamens is a wild card, but they're probably not going to put Lamens in, so I don't know. But
I think he's more likely going to start that game than the last game.
Yeah. But hey, that one's gonna be good. And if Garnacho scores, I'll be so livid. I will. Yeah, no, we're not gonna speak about.
If he scores, he's gonna hit the sit on the side.
He's gonna. Yeah, he better not do the Ronaldo celebration. Any of the Ronaldo celebrations at Old Trafford. He better not. Like if he knows what's good for him. But anyway, I will. Leave that be. Fulham Brentford. That's gonna be an interesting game. Fulham at home, so I'm just gonna give it an edge on this one, 1-0.
I'm giving it to Brentford. I'm saying 2-1 Brentford. They've been proving a lot of people wrong at the moment. They've been playing quite well, so I want to go with Brentford.
Rich?
Fulham were lucky to win at the weekend. Don't really look much of a strike force. Fulham did, 1-0 own goal from Goodmanson in the 94th minute.
Oh, yeah, they did. Oh, sorry, said they were lucky,
yeah. I think they were lucky. Brentford looked good against Chelsea. They looked very good. But I'm going to go 1-0 Brentford as well.
Fair. All right, we're going to go Bournemouth, Newcastle. Nick Baltimore is going to score another one. I'm putting it out there. And yeah, Newcastle's going to win that. I think Newcastle, they're well equipped to win that one, in my opinion. It's not going to be... It's going to... Actually, no. What am I saying? Like, Bournemouth have won 3. So... That's a 2-2 draw, actually.
You're loving your 2-2s today.
No, to be fair, think about it. Bournemouth have got 3 wins, 1 loss. That's it. Newcastle have not been able to win because they didn't have a striker, now they do. It's going to be a very good game. That's all I know. It's going to be
I'm saying 2-0 Newcastle.
2-0.
Yeah. I'm going to say 2-1 Newcastle. I'm going.
Fair. Sunderland, Aston Villa, a potential snooze fest, to be honest with you. That's 0-0 for me.
1-0, Isidore to score.
Is it at Stadium Light?
Yeah.
Yeah, Stadium Light, yeah.
Oh, you really say 1-0, did you, Khush?
Yeah, 1-0, Isidore to score.
You just want your FPL to boost up.
Yeah.
He's still not even in my FPL.
I'm going for another 0-0. I think Aston Villa go another dry streak again.
Okay, yeah, same. See, I'm going for 0. That's going to be a snooze fest. But I'm actually going to watch that Bournemouth Newcastle game because that's going to be fantastic. Yeah. And then the creme de la creme of the Sunday, Arsenal, Man City, Emirates Stadium, 4:30 p.m.
It's basically going to be goalkeeper versus goalkeeper at that point.
Yeah.
Who's the better goalkeeper? Donnarumma.
That's exactly the question.
Donnarumma. I'm just going to say 1-0 to City.
Really?
No Saliba. Mascara, it hasn't faced Haaland before, and Haaland's going to show him why he's the best striker in the Premier League.
Take no prisoners. Fair.
2-0 Arsenal. I think Arsenal will boss that midfield.
Yes. I actually I'm actually going to go with, I think it's going to have goals. So 3-2 to Arsenal. Reason being that City has not been able to actually get out of gear. They beat us because we are poor. But I guess a well-organized team with the midfield that actually said Zuberman is not going to give them space. Rice is going to, just block everything, to be fair. And I think a lot is going to depend on what Eze and Odegaard do.
Odegaard's injured.
Is still injured.
Yeah,
on his
pretty
shoulder.
shoulder injury.
To pick up one on the weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Well, Eze is going to have to
That's your
step up.
FPL gone.
No, he's not my FPL. No, actually, no. My FPL is actually doing well. Thank you very much. I think that changes stuff, actually. 2-1, Arsenal still. I feel like Arsenal have enough in the locker to actually just create problems. And, yeah. So that's what I think it is. But with that being said, we'll be back next week to see. We're actually going to keep a live table this time now to see all the predictions and all that and see who did well. But, gents, thank you very much for joining me. Khush, lovely to have you as always.
Lovely to have you as well.
Thank you very much. And Rich, thank you for joining us and lamenting on your wisdom problems.
Always.
Yeah. To be fair, we're in the same boat, so I really can't say anything, to be fair. So yeah,
if you want to tune into our therapy session next week, we'll be like
every Man United and West Ham fan, they need to check the link. We're gonna put links in there for mental health and the people who help with depression. Samaritans. I should think of the name. Yes, Samaritans. But anyway, it's time for us to leave now. But hopefully we'll see you next week. Take care for now.
Ciao.
bye.
For elite level football footage, Footy Vision has you covered. We film with an AI sports camera behind goal angles and a 4K camera for crisp close-ups. Your match gets the full broadcast experience, full match video, match highlights, action replays, graphics and commentary. All content is available to watch on footyvision.net, so your squad, fans and scouts never miss a moment. Want more? Our Platinum package is built for serious football enthusiasts. Get Premier League style stats like pass completion, tackles won, heat maps and much more. We also build your squad player profiles with goals, assists and highlight playlists. Perfect for showcasing your game. And don't miss our Footy Vision tournaments with stats, profiles, pitchside interviews and trophies. Filming across the UK. Fill out the form to get started. Play it, watch it, share it. Footy Vision.